Hello, welcome to the WABCOWÜRTH web event. My name is Ralf Niklaus. I'm product trainer at WABCOWÜRTH, and today I have a colleague with me.
Yeah, my name is Rui Platz. Hello, I'm trainer.
Right. In this session today, we will talk about some special features of our COOLIUS devices. The general overview we did already, so I think we can go into the deep. I would prefer to start with the smallest one we have, with the starter model, the A10. Well, I think the starter model is the wrong announcement for it, right?
No, we are fully capable of doing any job with this, just with a little more effort in time compared to the bigger series.
Well, and we have the mobility feature as well.
Exactly, we have benefits as well as disadvantages compared to the bigger one. But it also makes sense to invest in a small device depending on the purpose. If I intend to do mobile service, for instance, I'm running a fleet of construction machines I need to service on site with no traffic release, then I go to the machine instead of bringing the machine into the workshop. And therefore, this machine is absolutely suitable for more than just one reason. We have a very decent power consumption, which means we are able to run this machine with a DC-AC converter with 1000 watts only. So this means you can operate this from a normal vehicle battery several hours. And in respect of transport, we have a transport lock here to protect the scale. And this transport lock is tool-free. It's just like this. I open the knob, put it down, secure the knob, and this is simply it. This is my operation position. And of course, during transport, anything can happen. Even in a workshop, you can go over a big hump and do damage to the scale. And this all can be avoided by this just opening and securing it.
So that's an easy-going topic, which is suitable to use it always when you move the device.
Exactly.
So not only in a vehicle mobile, also it makes sense to use it inside of the workshop when you move it from point A to point B.
Definitely,
However,
yes.
Yep.
Another topic is the hoses. If we are talking about operation on site or from a car possibly, then we need sometimes extensions, and the extension, because this is the standard length, is 3 meters only, which may be suitable for a vehicle which is standing straight forward in front of me. But if I have difficult situations, like for instance the earth movers, where you have go over a counter wide, then these 3 meters are simply not enough. You need at least 3 meters more. We can extend to 6 meters, when we can even extend to 9 meters in total. So this should be suitable for any kind of purpose you need to do with this machine.
Okay, talking about digging machines, that one point, I could imagine also in the agricultural topic for the harvesters, for example, they are especially high, so there the hose extensions also can make sense. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
What else do we have?
Then the simplicity of use does not only stop with the construction. We also have the control, which is common all over all the series. And this control is just to really bluntly put it together on one point. I have here my display, my 4-line display, which gives me any kind of information necessary. I have a standby mode, and I have one rotating knob where I can select several jobs. First of all, I inform myself about the reserve I have in my tank. Okay, this will be suitable for today. And then starting operation, just pushing the button and then selecting the job.
So the good topic, which I notice right now, you are using it with your gloves.
Exactly.
You can also use it with the lovely gloves.
Yeah, with
the specific one, which are protecting you from the chemicals. So it's also suitable to use the machine with the specific protection devices?
Yes, of course, they are not the beloved ones, but they are mandatory to use. That's true. And even with this one, as we talk about it, we also prove that we are right. Don't worry.
I believe you.
The customers need to believe us. So I can do a vessel chart, for instance, pre-selecting the amount of refrigerant I want to have. I can have the single step mode, which means I can call in any single step of operation which is suitable for any bigger device, or which is suitable for any kind of repair job I need to do, collision repair, AC repair as such, and any purpose here. Then the standard service situation, of course, requires a full service mode. I just enter the amount of refrigerant I want to charge, and I let the machine run it and go do other things in the meantime. Or I go to a database, and the database is containing all the vehicles which are coming in serial way with an AC system on board. So which means not only passenger cars, this is also consisting of trucks and some agricultural machines. Yeah, and regarding the database, we even have one thing very special which only we do have.
Yep. About the database, we have on the upper right corner in this case a button which is named Bus Data. The database for the buses, we have the access online for our customers which have a A30 machine, for example. In this case, you're able to select the bus manufacturer, to select a model, in our case the A23 in this case, show it, and you see here maybe a difference which you know by car. On the car database, you have to select which compressor model is built in, because it could variate. And in the case of buses, you select the model of the AC system which is built in. Buses are somehow complicated as they are possible to buy with different setups, depending on the country, depending on the location where they are operated. So they can use different types of AC machines built in there. And what we have here is the database, how many refrigerant needs to be in, how many oil has to come in. But be careful, the oil is not the oil which you pump in via the machine. That's a separate compressor with a separate oil reservoir and has to be changed in there. So it will not be done by the machine. And there we have a big variation of bus models covering the database we have. I think that's also an important topic, especially for the workshops which only temporarily work on buses. I think the big fleets of the city transportation companies, they know their vehicles and they don't buy just one, they buy probably 10 of the same type, and then they receive from the manufacturer itself all the proper data sheets, and they have the data. But just in case the vehicle ends up in an external workshop and you have to do a service on them, then it could be very useful to have a data source where you can get the information. But another topic what I've seen, we have the knob on all models, we have the display on all models. So I figure out, or I think the menu itself is more or less on all models the same, right?
Totally equal. Totally equal.
Okay.
Depending on the function, which is a little more than here than on the other models,
Yeah.
but the build up, the build of the menu is exactly equal.
So if I suggest you are working on a truck, for example, you can use the full automatic mode. So the machine is doing everything autonomous. You can do a half automatic job, for example, for a workshop who fixes crashes or replace parts. In that case, you can't use a full automatic job. You can variate in between, for example, evacuate, and after evacuating, you repair the parts. and then select the next half automatic job with vacuum and refilling. You can combine it however is needed on your place right now.
As we are talking about, just let it demonstrate. So this is the open program, just making a proof of what you just told. Recovery separately, the nitrogen pressure loss test separately, vacuum charging separately, or grouped jobs like before a collision repair, after the collision repair, or a manually configured automatic process where you enter the parameters manually according to your wish, which makes sense if you have an old and a very aged system, because experienced technicians know that it's not making any sense to fill the required quantity by list. They deduct something to receive 80% only to make the system viable again. Mm-hmm. Just for instance.
But for a professional workshop, in my opinion, that's a big time-saving topic.
Definitely,
so
yes.
There's not only one mode, and you must run this mode depending the work which is in front of you. Therefore, you select the proper mode how to use the tool.
Exactly, and the mechanic does not have to stand beside the machine waiting the job to be conducted. Mm-hmm. And so you can find any groups of jobs or tasks you need to in your daily environment. Yeah. Another thing, we have a change in the legislation in the past. It was possible that you just filled by default, okay, some refrigerant, some UV tracer dye, and let the customer run on the road and come back in 1 week, and then we look with a lamp whether something is wrong. In the meantime, this is a criminal act in terms of environmental contamination. Mm-hmm. And we are now having the duty to do a pressure loss test. In that case, if the system's coming empty, showing up empty for whatever reason, we don't know, then we do a pressure loss test. And we have here a special feature, very interesting for those who want to do this and save some time. We have this nitrogen bottle connected to this 50 series machine. And the benefit is not the bottle as such. The benefit is that we integrated this pressure loss test function into the software. So this means,
I think this pressure loss test itself is well known by the specialists.
Yes.
But regularly on a separate bottle, on a separate way of transportation, separate set of gauges.
Double gauge manifold, classic one.
Yeah, the pipes directly in there. Well, a specialist can use them, but you will come on the point you need more time to do it manually as we need with our 50 series.
Exactly. It takes you almost 1 hour to complete the job and only have the information the system is well, the system is tight. And this is the only thing you will know after 1 hour of work. But here in this case, I just line this job into a series of actions. So maybe in this case here, and so it just takes 5 minutes, depending on the waiting time I set before I want to do the test with. So, and I also decide about the pressure, about the pressure I want to work with. If I want to do the pressure on the low pressure side, because I suspect the low pressure side to be leaky, then I start with 2 bar. Or if I go for the high pressure, we have here a maximum of 12 bars, which is absolutely suitable and significant. And if I have passed this test, I can extend this test up to 60 minutes if I like. And more, even better, if I have already noticed that this system is leaky, then I change the bottle against a forming gas bottle, and then I go on search for the leak with a sniffer and find the leak finally. And especially on trucks, on cars, they have longer lines than a passenger car ever has. So 60 minutes could make sense.
That's for sure. And at the moment, I find some other topics which I'm finding very interesting. One point is the payout. So you have the documentation towards your customer. You have done this test. So if you do something, you get paid for it. And
exactly.
That's a way to put on your bill and can charge your customer for it. The other topic, you have the documentation that the test was successful. So that's not only a documentation towards the end customer, that's also a documentation for yourself. So if weeks later the customer stops by again, hey, my system is not working anymore, and he's well, demanding money, or you repair it for free or whatever.
Any kind of compensation, yeah.
Exactly. Then you have the documentation. Hey, when your vehicle was here, everything was perfectly. If it was not perfectly, I'm forbidden to load up the system with refrigerant.
Exactly.
So that's,
you can avoid any
sides
kind of
a
legal
great thing.
action here,
Yep.
because of course the customer trusts you that you did, but if you can't prove, then you are on the losing end. You need to pay.
Absolutely. Okay.
Yeah.
What else is to explain?
What else is to explain? We do have another thing.
Yep.
We have a separate strategy of draining oil. This strategy is different to the classic one. The classic one is using the pressure of refrigerant to extract the oil into the waste oil container, and therefore we have these plastic bottles, these well-known plastic bottles. But the strategy is different that way, that we expose this bottle to a vacuum, exactly the same amount of vacuum we have in the final phase of recovery. And you see this climbing bubbles here, a very easy show that we have still some refrigerant inside, but as this bottle is closed and under vacuum, this refrigerant does not get lost. We simply, with the next recovery, we regain this refrigerant back into the system. And here we lose approximately 10 grams of refrigerant with every cycle of draining oil. This is the main difference. So more friendly to the environment, more friendly to the cash box.
Yeah, comparing on the prices of the refrigerants today, that's, yeah.
Damn true.
End of the year, it will generate a big sum, which you lose. But that's the benefit of the 50 series. Okay, what else do I have?
Yeah, we still have for all the machines the possibility to code them.
That's right. When do you have in your workshop the most use of the refrigerant? It's probably after 5 p.m. So
weird thing.
Yeah, it's weird, but that's very common on many workshops. We have a solution for it.
Yeah, and to avoid this, the simple trick is you select some people which are authorized, or who are authorized to run this machine. And to every of these people, you hand out a 4-character code, a so-called PIN code, and this PIN code has to be entered in any case of you want to do a job with. Any other non-authorized person cannot operate the machine anyway. So first of all, you know who did it, because you have a complete record here, and the record can be downloaded, and in this download you also see the number of technician.
Can you open please the
who did
file?
The job, at which time he did it, how much time was consumed, how much material has been consumed, how much oil, how much refrigerant, everything in place. And this is even a substitute if the customer lost the print for whatever reason. You have repeatedly this data you find on the print, you have them on the record as well.
You see it right now on the Excel sheet. That's how the print would look like if you get it. And you have all the informations you need. Here we have only a couple of data sets there. And during to the whole year, the data will rise up. So you have also the documentation towards your books
and the authorities,
about, yeah, and the authorities towards the usability of the refrigerant, how many you have recuperated, how many you have sold, how many bottles do you have bought. So, and then you can compare that and documentate every little thing there.
Yeah, and you are exactly.
That's a printout done fully automatically by the machine. There's no need to fill in the data manual service by service.
And as you are held accountable by the government for your purchased in and sold out refrigerant, it's absolutely making sense.
Okay.
So what about the machine you have in front of you?
Right. I just would say we talked a lot of the A50. We still have a couple. I know it's your favorite. In the meantime, I know it. Mine is the A30. Why? I love the liquid pump.
Yeah, you're right.
As I'm familiar with the bus systems, familiar with the use of a lot of refrigerant in those vehicles. If you figure out in the database, which we have seen on the A23 from MAN, there we need, what was it, 14 kilos of refrigerant. And everybody who already did the service on such a big vehicle or system of AC system know the time duration if you do it only by the pure physically way. So you have the vacuum in the vehicle, you have the overpressure in the AC service machine, and it's just a pressure balancing. And here we have a liquid pump which will pump in the liquid. So you save a lot of time. Beside, there's sure other solution possible. You can crank up your engine and use the compressor from the vehicle to suck the liquid in. It works, sure. It worked in the past. It will work also in the future. But if I can use this device, I don't need to start up the vehicle. I don't have the possibility to suck in liquid refrigerant and could blast my compressor, for example.
Yeah,
That's
it's
the safer way.
exactly. It's time and money, and on the other hand, the law of physics can't be tricked because you have very long lines. You have the thermodynamic effect. It's freezing down when entering the system. So, and this sometimes just takes time, and you can override this physical circumstances by just pumping in this refrigerant. That's simply it.
So what else do we have different? I think the compressor should be a bit bigger than in all the other models we have.
Yeah, we have 1 kilogram of refrigerant per minute in the liquid phase, which is quite strong, but not too strong because doing it too speedy is also negative.
That's right. We have the same
Exactly.
topic about
we are bound by physics.
Yeah. Another topic, we have also a bigger vacuum pump there.
Okay, it makes definitely sense because we have a 170-liter vacuum pump, a two-stage pump, for the simple reason that if I have, for instance, compared to a passenger car, 15 kilograms, which means approximately 13 liters, and the total volume of the system is approximately ×3, and this bigger volume takes some more time, and I want to have as much net time to really evacuate the water out of the system. And this is giving me the possibility to really reduce the time of reaching the lowest possible vacuum.
Yep.
This is simply the effect we are following on.
Well, and as this is a special machine for the bigger AC systems, we need bigger parts for it. That's true.
Definitely.
The rest is more or less, except of the size of the bottle we spoke already, is almost 1-to-1 to the other machines.
Yes.
It's using the same high value components like the
analog gauges.
The gauges from Vika. So it's a well-known brand, I think, for the specialists. Also the valves from Parker. What the special point here is, they are 100% switchable.
Yeah.
So there is not limiting time. If you use them, you can use them the whole day.
Exactly.
There's no need to switch them off after a half an hour to cool them down.
And
the hoses from Contitech. So a lot of high quality pieces.
Exactly, and having an 8-hour duration for vacuum does definitely make sense.
Yeah,
for this investment.
Yep.
But
what else I see? The printer.
Yeah. Yeah, the printer is always documentation, of course. Without print, normally you can't survive today because you must be able to prove your job.
That's right.
That's simply it.
Yeah.
The customer basically trusts in you. But if he is coming back with a claim, you need to present something.
You need to prove
a neutral source of proof.
So as I see, here are a couple points indicated in red color. I don't see that color on the other machines. Is there a special reason?
Yeah,
for
okay.
it?
This is a machine created for the show to highlight all the benefits we have to offer here,
Well,
and
lots then.
also this glass or this acrylic housing is not the standard. We have the gray plastic housing, but what we have in here, in difference to all the other machines, we have an analyzer, which is not just an identifier. It's a pure analyzer, which gives us a percentage, so more or less an analytic certificate about the composition of refrigerant I'm treating here. I'm receiving from the customer's vehicle, which is another proof which could be costly if I don't have it. Because if I'm retrieving a refrigerant which has been already mixed up with other kinds of refrigerant, maybe with normal hydrocarbons or whatever, if you go on a holiday trip and you have a breakdown, you go to any workshop just to make sure that everything's fine, and then you'll never know what's really happening. And here you can prove and tell the customer, okay, dear customer, in this case we have 100%, 95 is the demanded purity of this refrigerant. We also could have the other 134A. We could have hydrocarbons which are not fluoridized, the R290, R600A, which is very common in the fridge business in the meantime, and unknown components, whatever could be mixed in.
Yeah.
And it could be also if there is too much of water inside and just running through the process, could be unknown components anyway.
But unknown components are never good.
No, always costly.
Well, the one point is to check the gas. The other point is if I evacuate the wrong gas from a vehicle into my machine, what happens then?
I contaminate my complete reserve.
So, and if you remember about the prices of the coolant,
exactly,
there's really quick a loss of several hundred of euros in a couple of seconds.
Exactly, and if you don't notice, you fill this material into other customers' vehicles, and they don't know about it.
Right, and probably on the next service.
Exactly, popping up the next time.
Right, and he can document, hey, I did my last service on your workshop. Hey, come on, you pay me for the cleaning, for getting the machine again working, and probably the price to throw away the contaminated liquid is not so cheap. That's not easy. So do yourself a favor, do your customer a favor, especially yourself and your pocket. Check the gas which you evacuate out of the vehicle.
Yeah, and not only the analyzer is the feature here, we have a 3-stage safety process in getting in the probe material into the analyzer. First of all, we have a liquid separator, which is inside here. And this liquid separator is permanently emptied automatically with every waste oil drain cycle. So this means in a normal case, no liquid can enter the analyzer, and liquids of any kind are the dead for the analyzer. And if they are once dead, everybody knows it's very costly, and don't need to discuss about it. And here we have a second liquid receiver, and if you have liquids in here, then you still can take action to avoid any damage, and even a third fine filter. And if this filter is starting to change color, then you are really 5 before noon, and then you need to take action. If you ignore all that, of course, then you have the damage as usual. But up to now, we have not undergone a single damage of any analyzer so far.
The best what could happen to us that the customer ignores the signs, so we can sell a new analyzer.
We love selling spare parts, but we also love satisfied customers. So it's really up to you.
That's more important in my thinking. So we reached already the end. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.
Thank you very much as well. Bye-bye. See you next time.